something like that. You look fantastic. I love your hair. Hey, y'all. We're in the right place at the right time. Cooking. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yes, my soul is welcome here. 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 Yes, it is. My soul is welcome here. Oh yeah. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Woo-hoo! Working it up today. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am Ben. I am Reverend Dale Worley, and who is hot in here? We are on fire with the Spirit of God. Just so you know, we had the air handling unit that's in the ceiling replaced a couple months ago, and somebody looked out back and said the unit is frozen in the back. So we got somebody coming to look at it, but our usual guy, his grandmother passed away, and they're having the visitation today, so he couldn't come out. So we want to hold Jody, American Electrical, in our prayers today, and bless him and his family, and we'll see him on Tuesday, hopefully. But for now, it reminds me of the story of the Unity minister who went to hell, and he kept saying, "It is not hot, I am not here. It is not hot, I am not here." You have to be a real truth student to get that. That's known as a denial. But we're not in denial. We're releasing the idea that the heat has any power over us. In fact, we're going to use what's here this morning to help us move into that place of feeling the fire of the Holy Spirit. Y'all know I like Pentecost, right? It was the day that the tongues of fire descended on the disciples that were gathered together waiting for the touch of the Holy Spirit. And so we're just like that. We're in the upper room this morning. We're in the high consciousness, and we're waiting for the touch of the Holy Spirit. And it might set you on fire this morning. It might burn you up. It reminded me of the first time a friend of mine was in the sweat lodge with me. And she said, "It's so hot, I feel like I'm going to die." And I said, "Well, just go on and die." Give it up. Give it up to the Spirit. Let the Holy Spirit take you. Because I know that I walk through the fire, and what? I will not be burned. You know, I used to walk on fire with Reverend Edwin Gaines when she had her retreat center up there in North Alabama, and when we get done walking on hot coals, we write down on a little card, "I walk on fire and I am not burned. I walk on fire and I choose to do anything I desire." And so that's the mindset, the feeling place I want us to get to this morning, that there is nothing in this world that has the power to disturb the calm peace of my soul. Because I remember the words of our way shower, Jesus Christ, who said, "Take heart, because I have overcome the world." And that overcoming power that he demonstrated is inside each and every one of us this morning, yes? Yeah, come on now. So let's join together in affirming with that fire of the Spirit our vision and mission statements. Our vision, centered in God's love, we inspire universal transformation, one heart at a time. And our mission, we are an inclusive spiritual community, serving others with love, joy, and truth. And if you're serving as a prayer chaplain this morning, would you please stand? Our prayer chaplains are here to hold sacred space with us, to listen lovingly to our prayer intentions, to pray affirmatively and from the heart, and to hold in confidence what is shared. So if you would like a prayer after the service, please see one of our prayer chaplains, and you can always identify them because they're wearing their prayer chaplain stole. That means I'm on duty and ready to pray, right? All right. And you may know this, you may not know it, but this month marks the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, and two of Unity's most famous writings were taken to the moon, Our Prayer of Protection and another poem by James Dillett Freeman, who's known as the poet laureate of Unity. His poem, "I Am There," was also taken to the moon, and it's still there. And so this morning, I'm really pleased that Kevin Mahdi and
Monique Gordon have put together a really fun and informative and inspiring presentation about that, so I'm looking forward to that. So let us begin our service this morning by lighting our Christ candle to represent the idea of praying with others.
Pray with others. With faith, I see the truth in any situation. When I'm asked to pray with others, I look beyond their story of their lives. Instead, I discern the truth beneath appearances to find the sacred essence of each situation. Knowing that each of us is a living expression of God, I affirm that divine qualities are active in others, healing life, harmonizing love, prospering wisdom, and so much more. I see the divine nature of every person and know they have access to all the attributes of God. Seeing this deeper truth allows me to stand firm in faith as I pray for others. No matter how sad or discouraged they may feel, I pray, knowing their innate strength, power, and wisdom. You will know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. That's John 8:32. And if you'll repeat the verse. With faith, I see the truth in any situation.
I send my love over the mountain. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns
loosen and let go of any thoughts that is not of spirit. Think cool. Cool. Feel the breeze of God's Spirit. Feel the coolness as it washes over your body. The locus of control resides with you. You control your thoughts. So as you think of the coolness as it permeates your brain, washes over your forehead, down your face, you relax in the coolness of spirit. You unclench your jaw. You lower your shoulders. Let the breeze of love release all tension from your neck. Feel your arms become lighter. Your fingers relax. The beat of your heart tells you and spirit are one. 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 You allow the coolness of God to move through your body, through the stomach muscles as they relax, down through the groin to the thighs, your knees are relaxed. The calves of your legs are no longer tense. The chair you sit in holds you, supports you as God does. And as you come to rest your thoughts at your feet, we know that feet, metaphysically, is a hopeless jumble, and the raindrops tumble all around. Heaven opens her magic lane, and all the clouds darken up the skyway. There's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane, just a step beyond the sun, just a breath beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over that rainbow, skies are so blue, and all the dreams that you dared to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. If birds can fly over that rainbow, why then, oh why can't I? Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over that rainbow, happy bluebirds fly. If birds can fly way over that rainbow, why, then oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Debbie Scott and Linda Morgan. Give them a round of applause for them. The light of God surrounds us.
The love of God enfolds us.
The power of God protects us.
The presence of God watches over us.
Wherever we are, God
God
is,
and all is well.
These are the words written by James Dillard Friedman. And as Reverend Dale said, yes, it made it to the moon 50 years ago from Tuesday, July 16th. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the moon and what it means. Monique is going to tell you some of the scientific elements about the moon and its importance in our lives. And I will follow her, and we're going to explore the moon from a different unity perspective. Monique.
Thank you, Kevin. Some ancient peoples believed the moon was a bowl of fire, while others thought it was a mirror that reflected Earth's lands and seas. But ancient Greek philosophers knew the moon was a sphere orbiting the Earth, whose moonlight reflected sunlight. The Greeks also believed the dark areas of the moon were seas, while the bright regions were land, which influenced the current names for those places, Maria and Terra, which is Latin for seas and land, respectively. Galileo was the first to use the telescope to make observations of the moon. He described in 1609 a rough mountainous surface that was quite different from the popular beliefs of the day that the moon was smooth. Being that I'm a science educator and a scientist, I'll tell you a few interesting things about the moon that you may or may not know. Where is the moon? In the sky, yes, in space. That was a tough question. It is the easiest celestial object to find in the night sky when it's there. The only natural satellite of Earth hovers in our skies bright and round until it becomes a shadow for at least a few nights. The rhythm of the moon has guided humanity for eternity. The lunar calendar is our calendar. The months are roughly equal to the time it takes to go from one full moon to the next, and in 1 year around the Earth approximately 365 times. Here are a few numbers from NASA. The average distance from perigee, everybody say perigee? Perigee. That's the closest approach to Earth. To apogee, everybody say apogee. That's the farthest distance from the Earth, is approximately 238,855 miles for a great approximation. That's about 10 times around the Earth. Average orbital circumference, 1,499,618.58 miles around the Earth. Average orbital velocity is 2,287 miles per hour. That is 3 times the speed of sound. And the fastest jet, which is NASA's X-43A, is about 7,200 kilometers per hour. Moon's orbit and phases are mysterious to the masses. Did you know there's no such thing as a full moon? No dark side either. I'll show you why. Doubt me if you will. This is the moon. This is the Earth. The Earth has no polar caps, you know. It's getting warm. Yeah, the white lines are the traces. From where you sit, you're in space. What do you see? What phase of the moon? Full moon, so we say. But if I'm standing on Earth, what phase do I see? Dark. What phase do I see? If I'm on Earth looking at the moon, a half moon. That's right. Now I see a full moon, a half moon, and no moon, or the new moon. So, depending on your perspective, is where you see the moon. That's the phase that you see. you're out there, you're always going to see the full moon. We always see the face of the moon, the same exact face every single month. And that's because it happens that it takes 27.3 days for the moon to rotate, everybody say rotate, on its axis, and to orbit, everybody say orbit? Orbit the Earth. So when it's moving, we're also moving. So we don't see the other side of the moon. We don't call it the dark side because from space, it gets lit. We just don't see that perspective. Okay? Though it's a natural satellite to Earth, the moon, with a diameter of about 2,159 miles, which is really heavy on my arm, is bigger than Pluto. There are only 4 other moons in our solar system that are bigger than ours. The moon is a bit more than 1/4 the size of Earth. Okay, it's a little not that perspective here, but it's about a quarter than other, a much smaller ratio, 1:4, than other planets and their moons. This means the moon has a greater effect on the planet and very conceivably what makes life on Earth possible. Although the large impact theory dominates the scientific community's discussion, there are several other ideas for the moon's formation. These include that the Earth captured the moon and the moon by fission, everybody say fission, was molded out of the Earth, or that Earth may have stolen the moon from Venus, according to a more recent theory, and we all know a woman scorned. The crust on top of the mantle averages some 42 miles deep. The outermost 6 miles of shattered crust is pockmarked with craters formed by asteroid impacts millions of years ago. Because there is no weather, the craters have not eroded. Scientists have uncovered the average composition of the lunar surface by